with one of my friends, Ms. LaShonda Stevens. She also happens to be one of my clients. I've known her for almost my whole life, you know. So I just want her to share a little bit about what our services has done for her. So, Ms. Shonda Stevens, what made you join our protection plan in the first place?
Well, I would say the first thing is that I had to come to some self-realization. I consider myself to be a smart person. I consider myself to be, someone who is pretty up on things. But my self-realization was that I can buy all the books, but if I don't utilize the techniques in those books, or if I don't put that stuff into action, then I'm not helping myself. So the reason that I wanted to reach out to you, or actually you reached out to me a year ago and I didn't take advantage of it then. And I wish I had, because we would be in a different situation this year. Nevertheless, I went ahead. I'm glad I got started. One of the things I think that sometimes people get discouraged by is like, man, I should have done it then. And then they don't make any other moves. But I'm glad I did go ahead and move forward despite not taking advantage of it the year before. So my goal is to get a home. And we had certain qualifications. Our credit is decent, but we needed to have a specific score just to minimally qualify. My husband already qualified. It was just me. And I wanted to make sure that my name was on the loan information as well. So there were just a few things that I needed. I needed like an increase of, maybe 20, 40 points. I would want to increase it more. The more I increase it, the lower my interest rate would be. I don't want to just minimally qualify for a home loan. I want to be able to say, okay, I can pick from this, that, and the other, and not have to just deal with one specific lender because I'm minimally qualified for it. So my goal is to get a home. And we started the process, really, truly starting back the process probably, was it June or July, August? It was around the end of the summer when I got connected with you again to get the services started, and had a few things that we needed to pay off some things, get some stuff disputed. Because even as diligent as I like to think of myself being, there were some things that can definitely slip between the cracks. I work full time. I have a kid that's going to school full time. I'm a full time mom and wife, and trying to take care of myself as well. That's a full time gig as well. So my limitations are that when you got so many balls, sometimes you might have to drop a few balls. And the service that I'm receiving with you is helping me not have to worry about that one ball that I had to drop.
Okay, and I'm glad you said a mouthful just now. First of all, your hair looks great. So, so that's one of the balls that you definitely cannot drop, right? 'Cause that's part of our brand, right? Everybody has a brand, right? And what people think of when they first see you, that means a lot. Okay. Now you reached out to me. You reached out back to me back in, I think it was September, actually.
It was September.
Yeah, it was in September, and I want to commend you for that, because a lot of people, they let pride get in their way, right? Because a lot of people that I talk to, when I initially bring it to them, they don't want to take advantage of it, and then when they're ready, they don't come back, because now, well, they're afraid that I'm going to say, well, if you did this a year ago, and blah 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 blah, right? And then their fear keeps them from meeting their goals,
right?
And that's one thing. That number two is if they think that that's the way that I am, then they really don't know me in the first place, right? Because I just want to help people.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been that way my whole life. Now, you said that initially you had a goal of about 20 points, right? 20 points is what you needed to qualify. Right?
Yes. And we all know qualify.
Right. And we all know what qualify means.
Yes.
Right. That means they can sell it to you, but you're going to really pay for it.
Right.
So to date, since you started back in September, how many points have you seen increase on your credit?
To date, it's 94 points with TransUnion, and 92 points with Equifax.
Right. Okay. So almost 100 points in,
Almost 100.
just about 4 months.
Yes.
Right. That's right. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Right. Because I get a lot of people that say I'm going to do it myself and this, that, and the other. Well, sometimes you need professionals to do it. Right. I mean, we all know how to make cheeseburgers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But it don't taste like Chick-fil-A.
Exactly.
It don't taste like McDonald's. It don't taste like Wendy's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And sometimes your burger might taste better than, Wendy's.
It might.
It might. Right. But guess what?
Yeah.
You got to do the cleanup, right? Yeah. You're the one that has to stand at the stove. You're the one that has to get the seasoning out. You're the one who has to, do the cooking yourself, then do the cleanup later, right? Sometimes it's nice to just, go to the drive-through, tell the young lady or young man at the window exactly what you want, and then you drive off and eat it, you throw your trash away and you're done with it.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing there's a lot of things that go into it that people don't realize until they start digging, right? Yes. There's a lot that goes into it, and just sometimes when you go to make a meal that you've never done, and you don't know how to do it, right? And you start looking it up on YouTube and getting different recipes and things like that, and then once you start cooking that meal, you realize that this is a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah.
So you want to go ahead and turn those things over to professionals sometimes. That way you don't have to worry about it, just like you said. And I really appreciate you coming back to me and say, hey, okay, I'm ready. I need some help.
Yeah.
Right? That took a lot of courage, but I think I think that in the long run, I think our friendship is what did that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you still, not looking at a situation. Some people in business, when they reach out to people and they say no, they take that no as permanently, and they may even get a little attitude about it. But when you're in business, what you have to realize, and I'm seeing this now in the current business that I'm in, is that no might just mean not right now.
Absolutely.
And so for me, that's exactly what it was. I saw the advantage and I saw the benefit in the service over a year ago. I just didn't have, I would say, the discipline to know that, or maybe even the mindset to realize, okay, yeah, you could do this, but this is a chunk of time and work that you can take off of your plate if you just allow somebody else to do it. And you know what I had to realize also about myself? About once a week, I will spend $100 getting crab legs and shrimp ordered on DoorDash, right? For me, maybe.
Right.
That same $100, if I just miss 1 week, maybe I'm paying for the service. And actually, I got change left over because it ain't even the amount that I spend on crab legs. And that's how I look at certain things. If it's something that can benefit me, that can help take something off my plate, like I said, I'm a full-time mom, full-time wife. My kid is doing virtual school all the time. I'm working from home. I have my other businesses, and I have my mom down in South Carolina.
I don't know if we just lost you. You're frozen. I think you're frozen. I'm going to close you out and then bring you back in. Okay, I think you're still frozen. I really want to give you an opportunity to talk about what it is you do. So give me 1 second. All right. Okay, we lost you for a minute.
Yeah, we did. Hold on.
I think we're good now. We're good.
We're good? Okay.
Yes. So I actually want you to just take a second to talk about your business and what it is you do.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me to talk about my business. So I am a licensed life insurance agent, and I just recently got licensed at the end of December 2020. And so I'm super excited about this business because I'm an entrepreneur now, and I own this business. My business is called L. Stevens Financial Services, LLC. So I have a plethora of different products that I'm able to offer as a life insurance agent. And I like that. I like that my license belongs to me. It doesn't belong to any one particular company. It belongs to me. It's the reason you have to go and sit for a state exam. It's not like you go and sit for this company and they appoint you. You are a state licensed employee, a state licensed person. So I like that. So I'm a life insurance agent. I also am able to refer people for auto insurance, small business insurance, renters, homeowners. If people are needing home security, I have contacts with that as well. And what else? I'm currently working on getting my securities license. So that's going to take a while. That's going to take a little bit because it's not for the faint of heart. And, I consider myself to be a smart person, but it's definitely very intricate and long. And there's like 3 tests I have to do in order to get that. So that's what I'm doing. That's one of the businesses. I also have I'm a part of an online shopping club. Mm-hmm. And so I basically just enroll people into a company where they can get natural and green products for their home. My daughter and I have eczema really bad. And so we have to be particularly careful about things that we put on our skin, what gets next to our skin. And just in general, what I've learned is that there are a lot of things in food and products that aren't as good for you as they should be. And you don't hear about those things. And so being a part of this online shopping club allows me to feel like I'm doing my part in keeping people healthy and keeping myself and my family healthy. So that's another business that I have as well.
Okay. And as far as your life insurance, where are you certified to sell life insurance?
I'm actually appointed with Primerica, which they do term, but I'm also appointed with a company called Equus. So I'm able to offer other products as well, whole life, universal life, and as well as term on their platform as well. My goal was because there are certain qualifications with Primerica that you have to meet in order to even qualify for insurance through them. I didn't want to limit myself as far as being able to offer other people, maybe sicker people who have, a few more issues than some others, older folks. So I allowed myself to sign up with a company that allows me to offer a little bit more. So I can sign up folks from different demographics.
Okay. Is there certain states, or are you nationwide with that?
Well, right now it is North Carolina, South Carolina, District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia, and Florida.
Okay, that's awesome. Almost on East Coast.
Yeah. I'm planning very soon, Georgia and Alabama, New York, and probably Arizona and California as well. My plan really is to get the lower 48 and maybe possibly Hawaii and Alaska. With certain groups, though, New York is kind of tricky. Even Florida was kind of tricky too, with this life insurance thing. Like they have certain rules that you have to abide by and get different fingerprinting and all that. But yeah, so that's what I got right now.
Okay. Again, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with my audience. It takes a lot of courage to let people into your lives, right?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage to stand up and say, hey, I was one of those people who had bad credit, or not necessarily bad credit. I was one of those people who needed help.
Yeah.
Right. And just because you need help with your credit, or maybe you have horrible credit, that doesn't make you a horrible person.
Yeah.
And people need to understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really appreciate you coming on board. I look forward to you to buying that home. That 94 points, man, I'm just excited about that. So what does 2021 look like for you? What are your goals? What are you going to do with this credit now that you're, way over what you needed to qualify?
Building. That's what it is. So for me, 2021 looks like getting that primary residence investing in some properties, some other properties, some secondary properties, maybe even a multi-unit property. My goal is to replace my day job so that this life insurance business becomes my full-time job, and save money. I've been able to save minimally, but I'm talking about having that, all of those things that Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman talk about, having the emergency fund. With your service, completed my will, because that's so important. Recently, I had a family member to pass away right before the new year. He didn't have any life insurance. He didn't have a will, anything like that. So that caused, that can cause issues. And just what you were talking about when we first got on, you like helping people. For me, it's the same. My passion is education. I should have been a teacher, but you can teach in different ways without having to be actually in the classroom. Sometimes you can educate people just on ways to improve their lives. And so that's my goal. My goal is to educate people on things that can help us build generational wealth.
Absolutely. So I don't like to put words in people's mouths. So I'm going to tell you, I'm a firm believer that it's not what you say, it's what people hear, right? Because that's your message. So what I heard you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you are using your job to finance your business.
Yes.
You're using your business to finance assets.
Yes.
You're going to use those assets to pay for your liabilities. Is that what you just said?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
I'm to be connected with somebody who can translate my words into something that makes sense to lame people, Thank you for that. Yes, that's exactly what I want to do.
Right. And that's exactly how we build generational wealth. Right. You're not gonna be able to do all of that, on your 9 to 5.
Right.
Right. At some point, and don't get me wrong, having a 9 to 5 is a blessing, right?
Yeah.
If you have an income and that income is from your 9 to 5, that is a blessing.
Yes.
Okay. But 9 to 5s don't fulfill dreams.
No, they don't.
Right. You got to work your 9 to 5 and then go work 6 to 10 for yourself.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean?
6 to 12, really.
Right. But that's if you got big dreams. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? If you got small dreams, you can work for yourself 4 hours a day to make it happen, right? If you have big dreams, maybe add that up to 6 hours a day. But my point, though, is that your boss will never pay you enough to be their neighbor.
Yes.
Right? Your boss will never pay you that much money, right? So you got to go out and be your own boss.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm glad you found that opportunity where you can go out and you can do that. And you not only are you doing that, but you're providing people with something that they need.
Yes.
Right.
And Tyrone, let me tell you this too. I'm
gonna say the T word.
No, I wish that in the schools they taught us to be entrepreneurs as opposed to sheep in this farmed system of going to school, getting an education, getting a job, because there is an alternative path as well. The mindset that I have right now, I wish I'd had it at 20, because I would be in a completely different situation. I'd be able to retire, right now, but that's okay. Maybe it was meant for me to go the path that I got so that I could have the true understanding of why it's so important to know these things, to have an emergency fund, to have good credit, to have a business, that you own and be able to claim all of this stuff on your taxes. Like it's just so many things that I wish that I had known at 20, but maybe 41 is the new 20.
Hey, it's one thing to, a lot of people get discouraged, and they get discouraged because they don't know things. They're afraid to, they are secure where they are.
Yeah.
Right? They're comfortable. Right. Well, this 9 to 5 is what's going to pay me, so I'm good.
Yes.
Right? But one thing we learned last year that's not always true.
Yeah.
Right. Some things happen that are out of your control, and then that 9 to 5 that you had is gone.
Yep. Who was it that said? Who was it that said we are one paycheck away from a disaster? I can't remember who it was that said that, but that's exactly how it is. If you don't have multiple streams of income, that is the catchphrase for me of 2020 and 2021. Multiple
Absolutely.
streams of income. And I'm going to say this, and you and I had this conversation more personally, but for me, this pandemic that we're currently still in opened my eyes for some, and I pray for all the people who have lost loved ones. I too have lost some people, not to COVID, but during this pandemic, and I'm sure that it was probably a contributing factor to that. And lots of people not only have lost their lives, but lost their livelihood, lost their businesses, lost their homes, all of that. And looking at that, watching that, observing that, being a part of that has shown me that I need to make a change. I'm going to tell you, I didn't even know I was supposed to dream bigger than I was dreaming. You were talking about dreams. Mm-hmm. My dream was to get out of my mama house, not have a baby before 17 and get out of my mama house. That was the only dream that I ever had. I did that. Then I started getting closer to 30 and I was like, okay, well, with a baby, with a husband, all of these things. Right. That's when I started knowing that, okay, maybe I should have more things that I should dream, should have a part of my dreams. At 41, I'm just now seeing that I can have even more than that. Mm-hmm. So my dreams change with my mindset. When you have a poverty mindset, people talk about that, having a poverty mindset, all you think is, let me just be able to lift my head above water. Let me just be able to do that. And when you get out of that poverty mindset, it's like, let me soar.
Right.
Let me soar. And that's what I plan to do, building.
Right.
My sister said, looking for more out of life. Yes.
Right.
I didn't know I was supposed to look for more out of life. Especially for us Black girls, some people will have you think that the only thing to aspire to is getting married and having babies. And that's good. Nothing wrong with that. But for me, I'm more than just somebody's wife. I'm more than just somebody's mama. I'm more than somebody's daughter. I'm more than somebody's sister. I have dreams internally that I want for myself. I don't just want this house, for my family. I want this house for me too. I want to be able to go and plant a garden in the yard. I want to be able to, expand some things, have a home office. I want to be able to do a whole lot more things. I want to be able to travel, things that, maybe my husband doesn't want to do, but I want to do for me, So I wish that, we were allowed to dream outside of those two things, being a mom and being somebody's wife.
Right. So I'm glad you said that, because it's because a lot of times, well, first I want to clear something up. When a lot of times people get offended when we talk about the poverty mindset, and it's not meant to be an insult.
Right.
What's meant by that is you have limited belief.
Yes.
Right. You don't recognize your real potential.
Yeah. Right? You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And when we talk about the ability to dream and things like that, you got to realize that the people who taught us how to dream, right, they could only teach us to dream about the things that they had.
Yes, up to their capacity.
Exactly.
Yeah, up to the point where they know.
Exactly, right? So to get past that, you got to get around the right people, right? You got to get around the people that are where you want to go.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Or at least they're further ahead than you are.
Yes.
Right? So, I grew up in New Jersey, okay? I moved to South Carolina when I was 15, almost 16. And you ever heard of a transfer, like a bus transfer?
Yes. I've been on bus before.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know. You from the country. Y'all don't do that.
But I live in Charlotte. I've lived in Charlotte almost 15 years. So I'm taking the bus.
Right. So, if you get on that bus to go to wherever you're going, sometimes that bus doesn't get you there, but that bus will get you closer than you were.
Yes.
right? So you take that bus to the furthest point, and then it's time to get off that bus, right? You
Yes.
should transfer and get on a new one,
Yes.
right? Well, sometimes in life, it's the same way, right? You have to recognize it for what it is. Just because that is the most that that person achieved doesn't mean that that's the most that you can achieve,
Yes.
right? But when
Yes.
you have those dreams, and when you have those dreams, I should say, you gotta turn those dreams into goals.
Yeah.
And the only way you're gonna do that is to create a plan, right? Once you have a plan, right? Once you have a plan, now you have a goal,
You
right?
know what?
Go ahead.
Let me tell you. There's two things that we talk about in my life insurance business. Is one of the reasons that there's only 1% of the world that's wealthy. And we talk about what we said before, education, but you just said the last thing, having a plan.
Hmm.
Without the education, you can't build a plan.
That's
You know,
right.
they kind of work hand in hand, you know? So that is so key. I'm so glad you said that because that's the other component of it.
Now there's one more piece. There's
Go
one more
ahead.
piece.
Enlighten me. I'm always willing.
You got to execute.
Oh
Okay,
man.
because a plan, right? A plan without execution is a napkin. Okay,
Oh,
you got to execute, right? So
it's a wish. It's a wish.
that's right. That's right. We're not Disneyland. We don't make dreams come true. You actually have to. You have to actually plan. You actually have to execute that plan.
Yes.
And it's okay to to stumble. It's even okay to fail as long as you learn.
Yeah.
Right? But what you
Yeah.
can't do is stop.
Yes.
Right? You got to get back up on that horse and you got to ride it again.
Yeah.
Right? But it all starts with your belief. Right? One of my mentors, Mr. Joe Gathens, we call him Money Joe. He always says you got to see that thing before you see that thing. Right? Which means that you have to believe that you can do it before you even start that journey. Because if you don't believe, you're really wasting your time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But when you believe that you can do it, you're willing to put in the work to make it happen.
Yes.
Right?
And you know what some of that is too, and I credit my mom with this part of it. Part of your internal self-motivation, self-drive is, for me at least, seeing my mom work on a job for I think it's 42 years now. Okay. Okay. There you go. You back. Seeing my mom work on a job for 42 years showed me dedication, hard work, and not enough is said about that. So even when you're talking about execution, not quitting,
right?
Keep on going. You got to keep on pushing. No matter what the circumstances surrounding that, you have to keep on going.
That's right.
Keep on pushing. And like you said, you're going to come into challenges, but you can look at them as stumbling blocks or you can look at them as opportunities. It's never losses, just lessons.
That's right. That's right. I like that. I like that. I like that. Hey, so if we keep going, because we can go forever. Right?
Yeah, we can.
But if we keep going, this is going to turn into a movie, and I don't think people are going to watch the movie, right? So, so again, I appreciate you coming on, just telling people about what our services has done for you, and because you reached out to me like, hey, you wanted to do a post, and I said, hey, do you mind going live with me? And you was like, sure, no problem, let's do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. I fully support you and what it is that you do. And I encourage everybody else, if you know somebody that's doing a business, even if it's not something that's for you, it costs you nothing to support somebody.
That's right.
Right. Like, share, comment on a post.
Yes.
Right. That costs you absolutely nothing.
That's right.
There is enough for all of us to eat.
That's right.
Right. So, again, it costs you nothing. So help us out.
Yeah.
Right. We're trying to help other people. Some of them are your family members and loved ones.
Yes. Yes.
Right. We're talking finance. We're talking life insurance. We're talking wills. We're talking about generational wealth and taking care of and protecting our assets and the things that we all work hard for.
Yes. See
Right?
how it works hand in hand, though?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Having good credit allows you the ability to get assets. When you
That's
get
right.
assets, you need to insure them. One of your
Exactly.
assets is yourself, your life, your family, your income, all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Shonda, again, thanks. I'm so proud of you and your 94-point increase. I'm going to call you again next week to make sure that you did your part,
Yeah.
and that you got your will started. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, and that's part of this service too, that I don't know if that's built in with it, but I definitely appreciate it, whether it's the personal relationship or the business relationship, you checking in on me and making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on my end. Because there's a little bit of, part that I have to do as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And really, it's because I care. You
Thank
know
you.
what I mean? It's because I care.
Thank you.
So, and I would expect you to do the same thing. If I was one of your patrons, I would expect the same kind of thing. Just pop in, say, hey, how's it going? Something,
Yeah.
because sometimes people need that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I do, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for letting me talk about my businesses. Thank you for, allowing me to do that, and whatever I can do to help spread the word about your services, let me know. I will definitely continue to utilize the services and get more of what I'm paying for with
Okay.
this as well.
All right. You got 11 more services to use. Hey, one thing real quick. Are you using Shopping Boss?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
I know, Tyrone. I
That's
know.
free money.
I know. I got to see. I have to be focused on my focus. But I'm gonna take advantage of everything.
Okay. Well, yesterday I got a $40 meal for $20 because I used Shopping Boss. So we're gonna talk about that next week too.
Okay.
Okay.
Stay on me. I appreciate it.
All right, Shonda. You have a good day. I really appreciate you again, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You as well.
Hey, well, real quick, Linda Johnson. I think she's one of my Facebook friends.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Okay. She has a question about my services. Linda, if you don't mind, go ahead and inbox me, and I will give you all the information that you need. But what I do is I help people qualify for things like houses and cars and anything that involves credit that their credit might be a barrier for them, right? So if you have a credit score of 750 or 749 or less, and you're looking to do something big, reach out to me and let's talk about what we can do for you. Okay, y'all have a great night. Thanks again, Shonda. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.